wasn't the go-to person on the play. And guys, I got to tell you, that shit is driving me bananas. It is driving me bananas. Let's go over here. We'll start with Venom, right? This is the reaction from Caitlin Clark after the shot is made. The interaction or lack thereof towards Stephanie White.
The aftermath of Caitlin Clark's 32-foot logo 3 to win the game has generated as much conversation off the court as the shot itself did on it, specifically around how Clark interacted with her coaching staff in the moments immediately following the buzzer. Video from the sideline celebration shows Clark moving down the bench, greeting teammates and coaches. Her expression is visibly warm when she reaches Sophie Cunningham, who had delivered the pass that set up the winning shot. But as she moves past Cunningham towards Stephanie White, multiple analysts reviewing the footage note that Clark's expression changes. The smile drops, the eye contact is minimal, and the interaction appears noticeably more restrained than what came before and after it.
Lack thereof towards Stephanie White is eye-opening. Now, I understand in public these two are going to act like they are best of friends. You will never convince me they like each other. You will not. They're not going to publicly go to war with each other and all that. But you will not convince me they are big fans of each other at all. Let's try this. Venom.
Caitlin Clark made
the energy returns once she moves further down the bench. One coaching staff member who drew a genuine reaction from Clark was Rob Dozier, who was visibly and enthusiastically celebrating the moment. Clark responded in kind. The contrast has reinforced a narrative that has been building for some time. The working relationship between Clark and White, whatever it may be behind closed doors, does not read as warm on camera.
Try this. Venom.
Caitlin Clark made them capitalize. Beautiful possession. And this is where things get interesting. And very, very interesting perspective, might I add. Caitlin Clark.
You're going to watch Caitlin Clark's reaction, the celebration, and then when she gets to Stephanie White, her entire face changes. And then it changes back. Once she gets past Stephanie White.
Clark, you can see she celebrates with Sophie Cunningham.
Neither player nor coach is expected to air any grievance publicly. Professional athletes and coaches at this level rarely do. But the sideline footage has been examined closely enough that the body language is now part of the wider conversation. The play itself remains the source of the underlying tension. Kelsey Mitchell was the primary option on the final inbound. Sophie Cunningham, reading that Mitchell was not going to get open cleanly, redirected the ball to Clark on the wing near the logo.
Smiles at Sophie Cunningham, and then immediately when she looks at Raven Johnson and Stephanie White, the smile immediately goes away. Look at her. Smiling, sees the bench. Boom. Oh, my gosh. My replacement is here to replace me. Yep.
You hear what Venom said? By the way, Venom Reacts. Go subscribe. Shout out Venom. Did you hear what he said? My replacement's here to replace. I still believe they drafted her to replace her.
4 seconds on the clock. Pulled up and hit it. Lexi Hull confirmed on radio after the game that what Cunningham delivered was not exactly what was drawn up. What makes the moment complicated is White's own press conference response. When Clark's clutch performance came up, White talked about generational players being taken for granted and Clark needing time to build her confidence back over a rough stretch of 18 to 24 months.
I still believe they drafted her to replace her. Because I think Stephanie White believes that she better fits her team. Again, why in the world would you ever, ever, ever draft a point guard in the first round when you just took one 2 years earlier? Now look at this. Look at her face. Look at Caitlin Clark's face right here.
I couldn't even enjoy my moment without my coach subbing me out because it makes me look bad on national television that I can't.
For observers who believe the offensive structure itself has been the source of that rough stretch, White's framing, offering grace to Clark while the design play bypassed her, reinforces the central criticism. The coaching staff publicly acknowledges Clark's greatness, while the game plans do not consistently reflect it. Indiana sits at 6-5 on the season. The win required a buzzer beater, improvised by a veteran player going off script. The statistics were without Kiki Iriafen for the game, which raises questions about how the final margin would have looked at full strength.
Even enjoy my moment without my coach subbing me out because it makes me look bad on national television that I can't close out defensive possessions with my team. Christy Size tried that in 2024. One of my first games watching the WNBA, which made me think as a casual fan of the WNBA that, hey, Caitlin Clark can't play defense, which I had to learn, like, wait, she's not actually the worst defender on the team. So as you can see, the smile went away, gave Raven a whatever 5. Gave Stephanie White, couldn't even make eye contact with White. Couldn't even make eye contact with your coach. I mean, this is the same coach that hugged you when you made an assist to Kelsey Mitchell during a momentum run, but now
the Fever won, but the circumstances around that win have not quieted the scrutiny. They have added to it. Stephanie White gave an interview in which she was asked directly about fan frustration. Specifically, the widespread criticism that Caitlin Clark is not given the ball enough, and that the team underperforms in fourth quarters. Her response was blunt. She does not have an answer for those fans, because her responsibility is to the team and the franchise, not to satisfying public expectations. She stated plainly that the goal is to win games, not to appease the masses.
I mean, this is the same coach that hugged you when you made an assist to Kelsey Mitchell during a momentum run, but now she can't even make eye contact with you, nor you can't make eye contact with her as well. Just pure disgust. But now...
Look how her face changes back. This is very interesting.
Here comes Austin Kelly, the real man who drew up the play. And yeah, it didn't go to Caitlin Clark, but listen, it's clear Caitlin Clark was smiling. So, that wasn't towards Austin Kelly. You see, yeah. I'm learning in real time.
Yeah, different guy here, folks. Not Austin Kelly.
That was actually...
That answer generated significant pushback, and not without reason. The argument that fan satisfaction is entirely separate from a coach's job becomes difficult to sustain in the specific context of the Indiana Fever. This is a franchise that explicitly positioned itself as a national team, built around one of the most watched players in the sport's history. Taking on that role carries a commercial and entertainment obligation that does not apply equally to every team in the league.
Here, folks, not Austin Kelly.
That was actually for Rob Dozier. The coaching staff, this was for, that smile was for Rob Dozier, and you can see he's going above and beyond to congratulate Caitlin. Caitlin back smiling on the bench with Hines Allen. Yes, indeed. We pay attention to everything. Look at Rob.
Look at his reaction, folks. That dude's fired up.
Rob Dozier still supported CCA. Rob, these are the little things that people might overlook, that stuff people like us will highlight, okay? We see the support.
More practically, we're focused on winning. Framing is harder to defend when the team's record does not support it. At the time of the interview, the Fever had beaten one genuinely good team and one above-average team while dropping games to the Mystics and the Sky. The Mystics being one of the weakest rosters in the league, openly in a rebuilding phase, and missing their best player. White also cited continuity as the primary issue, holding the team back, pointing to the time Clark missed last season and the challenge of rebuilding chemistry. The continuity argument does not hold up well on closer examination.
Wouldn't have been happy when I shot the fourth one. It's like it was very obvious early that Steph White is a pragmatic coach. And Caitlin Clark is a flair maverick player. But there's one thing I don't actually think, not that I don't think she understands, but I don't think the Fever understand that with great power comes with great responsibility. With great, what you call it? Like, I'm going to be
These players have been together for multiple seasons. The actual continuity problem identified by outside observers is a fundamental stylistic mismatch. White runs a controlled, deliberate offensive system that does not suit Clark's game. Clark thrives in pace and space environments, in pick-and-roll situations, with freedom to operate as a creator. The system White has installed tends toward isolation-heavy, half-court basketball that limits those opportunities.
What you call it? Like, I'm going to be real here. With all the viewership comes responsibility to entertain that viewership. And I don't think this front office nor the coaching staff give one shit about that. And should they? I don't know. But there are monetary advantages with coaching the Fever that if you don't give a shit about putting out for an entertaining product, you just shouldn't be there.
Back. So when my neighbor comes up to me and tells me that he's so frustrated he's yelling at the TV because he wants Caitlin to shoot more.
The evidence for this is not just subjective. Aliyah Boston earned all WNBA second team honors specifically during the stretch of games she played. Alongside Clark, a sample where Clark's court vision and pick-and-roll partnership elevated Boston's production significantly. In White's system, without that dynamic, Boston's numbers have not reached the same level. Kelsey Mitchell, meanwhile, has openly embraced a more ball-dominant role and has less incentive to return to the off-ball work she did when Clark was healthy and running the offense.
He's so frustrated he's yelling at the TV because he wants Caitlin to shoot more. And you see social media, of course you do, and we all do. And we see frustration if Caitlin doesn't have the ball or if something goes wrong or if the team doesn't play well in the fourth quarter, all those things that happen in sports. What's your answer to those fans?
I don't know that I really have an answer for the fans. I think, I have to answer to our team, and our franchise. And we're trying to win ball games. We're not trying to.
A player-by-player comparison with the Minnesota Lynx, the team widely regarded as the class of the league, suggests the Fever's talent level is competitive at nearly every position. Clark over Olivia Miles, Kelsey Mitchell over Courtney Williams, Sophie Cunningham over Nia Coffey, Aliyah Boston over Natasha Howard. The gap in results between the two franchises is not a talent gap. The argument made by critics is that it is a coaching and system gap, and that a coach more oriented toward maximizing offensive talent, someone willing to spam pick and rolls and put Clark in situations where she creates advantages, would produce meaningfully better outcomes with the same roster.
Appease the masses. We're trying to win ball games.
And I'm being very serious. Like, appeasing the masses is part of her job. And maybe the Indiana Fever front office are like, that's not your job. We don't care about the product we put out. We just want to win. But, like, I'm being real. How you win matters. And the fact that I don't even know why I'm arguing that you're not winning.
White's comment about preparing for the playoffs also drew attention because playoff qualification is not guaranteed. A 6-5 record with losses to two of the weaker teams in the league does not leave much margin. The idea that the team can afford to experiment and find itself over the first half of the season, with the playoffs as an assumed destination, misreads how little room the standings actually provide.
I don't even know why I'm arguing that. You're not winning. You're just not winning. You've beaten one good team and one above average team. You've lost to the Mystics and the Fire. The Fire haven't even come close to winning a game since they beat the Fever. You lost to the Mystics and the Fire. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Like, the Mystics are one of the worst teams in the WNBA. The Mystics are trying to lose and you lost to them. You lost to a team who were trying to lose. Like, you had built up a 17-point lead against a team who were trying to lose without their best fucking player, and you nearly lost. Like, your team's playing bad and they're boring. If you instead of being 6-5 were 8-3, let's say you beat the Valks and you beat the Fire, or you beat the Valks and you pull off that win against the Lynx, and you are what, like a game behind the Minnesota Lynx, or you beat the Wings, sorry. Then we're having different conversations. You're 6-5 with the easiest start, and you're playing vomit ball. Like, your part of your job is absolutely part of your job is to appease the masses. Like, I know you don't want it to be. I know that's not something you think you signed up for. You absolutely signed up for that. I'm being real. Like, who the fuck takes the job of coaching Caitlin Clark without the expectation of, quote unquote, appeasing the masses? Especially when you went in this whole "we're America's team, now you know," all of this stuff. When you go through all of that and then say, you know what, I only answer to my team, I don't care about appeasing the masses. No, you can't. That's not a cop-out. That's not a cop-out for having one of the best offensive, like, groups of players.